Good afternoon, everyone present here. The guests for today's function, the judges for today's competition, faculty members, and the fellow participants and our audiences. We've gathered here on the occasion of poster making competition, which is day 2 event of our Republic Day celebration. In addition to this, India also celebrates its National Voters Day today. So we'll be celebrating that as well. We, as the responsible citizens of India and being part of the Indian constituency, have the solemn right of voting, but very few of us acknowledge this right and how important it is. So let's pledge for the same, and I would request Adesh to take over.
Thank you, Roger. Hello, everyone. My name is Adesh Pote. We would be having this pledge in 3 languages, Marathi, Hindi, and English. I would request every one of you to please switch on their cameras and keep themselves on mute. I repeat, switch on your cameras and keep yourself on mute. I'll be reciting the pledge and everyone has to recite the pledge behind me. Okay, there are still a few people who have not switched on their cameras. Can everybody please switch on their cameras? Okay, thank you guys. So let's start with the pledge. We'll first recite our pledge in Marathi and please recite after me. आम्ही भारताचे नागरिक लोकशाहीवर निष्ठा ठेवून याद्वारे प्रतिज्ञा करतो की आपल्या देशाच्या लोकशाही परंपराचे जतन करू आणि मुक्त निष्पक्षपाती व शांततापूर्ण वातावरणातील निवडणुकांचे पावित्र्य राखू व प्रत्येक निवडणुकीत निर्भयपणे तसेच धर्म, वंश, जात, समाज, भाषा यांच्या विचारांच्या प्रभावाखाली न येता किंवा कोणत्याही प्रलोभनास बळी न पडता मतदान करू. अब हम हिंदी में प्लेज. भारत के नागरिक लोकतंत्र में यह शपथ लेते हैं कि हम अपने देश की लोकतांत्रिक परंपराओं की मर्यादा को तथा स्वतंत्र, निष्पक्ष एवं शांतिपूर्ण निर्वाचन की गरिमा को अक्षुण्ण रखते हुए निर्भीक होकर धर्म, वर्ग, जाति, समुदाय, भाषा अथवा अन्य किसी भी प्रलोभन से प्रभावित हुए बिना सभी निर्वाचनों में अपने मताधिकार का प्रयोग करेंगे. We will now recite this pledge in English. We, the citizens of India, having abiding faith in democracy, hereby pledge to uphold the democratic traditions of our country and the dignity of free, fair, and peaceful elections, and to vote in every election fearlessly and without being influenced by consideration of religion, race, caste, language, or any other inducement. Thank you guys.
We will now proceed with today's competition. I would request Ms. Vaishnavi Lokre to proceed with her presentation.
Should I start, ma'am? 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 Hi guys, my name is Vaishnavi and I'm from Solapur. So as you all can see, I made a handmade poster for this competition. From this poster, I just wanted to say that just by building the technology or constructing too many buildings, a country can be developed. Yeah, I want to see my country to be developed and to be number one in this world. But along with that, I just want my country to be green and healthy. And also, I'm a big fan of nature. So breathing in a clean air and living in a like clean area, that's what I see for my country to be. And it's all in our hand. We are the future of country, so we should just work hard, not only but just by building technology, but also by saving the nature and preserving the species who are going to extinct in few years by preserving them. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Vaishnavi, for your presentation. You have given a very good message. I would like now. I would like to take over. I would like to ask Rakshanda to take over. Over to you, Rakshanda.
Yeah, shall I start?
Yes, Rakshan.
Yes. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Rakshanda Kadam. First of all, thanks to Vadia Institute for giving us this wonderful opportunity to design something related to India. We all know that India has varied heritage, culture, and very vast culture we have. So I can choose this topic to culture tourism. Most of the part of this poster is handmade. I draw this artwork and paint it, then scan for the adding some special effects. To enhance my poster, I add some typography and digital artwork in it. Then this poster is representing famous tourist places from the different state of India. It includes Taj Mahal, Lotus Temple, Meenakshi Temple, and many more. My concept is when we visit India once, we have lots of wonderful memories and souvenirs in our one suitcase, like Yado Ka Pitara. And my tagline is experience a wide range of culture, visit incredible India. Yeah, that's all about my culture tourism poster. Thank you, all of you.
Thank you for your presentation, Rakshanda. Very nicely delivered. Now I request Shraddha to take over. Over to you, Shraddha.
Hello everyone, my name is Shraddha Deshmukh. I am from Modern College of Engineering. My poster is on National Voters Day, which we celebrate on 25th of January. I am making this poster which tells us importance about voting. I am also adding one voting finger on the map of India that shows how your vote matter for our country. I am also add some slogans which tells importance about voting. It's my humble request to all of you, please give your voting for betterment of our country. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. Now I would like Panchashila to take over. Over to you, Panchashila.
If Panchashila is in the meeting with another name, please raise your hand.
Panchashila, are you there?
So we'll go with next.
Okay, there must be issue. So we'll go ahead. Shruti, I would like to ask you to take over, please. Over to you, Shruti.
Very good evening to everyone and a very happy 73rd Republic Day in advance. I am Shruti Patel and I am here to present my poster which depicts cultural tourism in India. India is one of the oldest and richest cultures in the world. Our culture compromises of clothing, festival, languages, religions, music, dance, food, art, and importantly, the architecture we cherish. So here I tried to depict some of the beautiful constructed heritages of India. The Taj Mahal, the symbol of love and respect. The Qutub Minar, the symbol of victory. The Lotus Temple, the symbol of peace, purity, and immortality. The Sanchi Stoop, the symbol of dharma or the wheel of law. The India Gate, the symbol of bravery, dedication, and sacrifice of Indian soldiers. And the most important, the chakra, which binds it all in one. The dynamism of peaceful change, the chakra that signifies that there is a life in moment and death in stagnation. The symbol of pride, the Ashok chakra. In the end, I would like to add that India is the only country where a Catholic woman steps aside so that a Sikh can be sworn in as a prime minister by a Muslim president in a country where more than 80% of the population is Hindu. This shows our culture, the culture of unity in diversity. That's it. Thank you.
Very nicely presented, Shruti, and also very nicely explained. Now I would like to take. I would like to ask Rahul to take over. Rahul, over to you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Rahul Chandrakant Lingre, and I'm from Solapur. My topic for today's poster making competition. Yes. Is there any problem?
No, Rahul, go with your explanation.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Rahul Chandrakant Legire, and I am from Solapur. Today's topic for poster making competition is cultural tourism, and I mainly focused on Indian folk dances. Indian culture often labeled as a combination of several cultures, and has been influenced by history of millennial old, beginning with the Indus Valley civilization and other cultural areas. Many elements of Indian culture, like Indian religion, festivals, cuisine, languages, music, dance, and movie. Dance in India have different styles and dance types. In India, every state have its own and unique dance style. Like Punjab have Bhangra, or it's known for its own dance style. Punjab for Bhangra, then Gujarat for Garba and Dandiya, Maharashtra for Lavani, then Andhra Pradesh for Kuchipudi, then Tamil Nadu for Bharatnatyam, then Kerala for Kathakali, Karnataka for Yakshagan, and so on. And we have short time, so and I also want to add one point that I don't know if you know, but today is a National Tourism Day, and we actually, but indirectly participating or giving our contribution to the Indian National Tourism Day. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks for bringing different dance forms, Rahul. Nicely presented. Now I request Neha to take over and explain her presentation poster.
Hello. Am I audible? Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. Topic of my poster is cultural tourism. As we all know, India is rich in its culture and heritage. And from ancient India, we have monuments. So I have tried to represent each state or some of the states with the monuments present in it, such as Golden Temple from Punjab, Lotus Temple in Delhi, Gateway of India and Shaniwar Wada from Maharashtra, Char Minar in Hyderabad, and the Meenakshi Temple of Tamil Nadu, and even the Metropolitan Building of Kolkata. So the Buddha figure and represents the Buddha monastery in situated in Arunachal Pradesh. This is how we have these are the tourism places in India. So I tried to cover it with the space I have given. Thank you so much for letting me represent my poster. Thank you all.
Nicely explained, Neha. Now I would like to request Sahil to take over and show his poster and explain.
Hello. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, we are audible, Sahil. Go ahead.
First of all, good evening to one and all present here who have joined the meet. I am Sahil Mambani from MBA first year. My topic is my vision of future India. The poster describes the different changes I want in our country. My vision of India is to replace the fuel-driven vehicle with electrical vehicles. My vision of India is that we win the battle against coronavirus and have a corona-free India. Currently, it is the most important battle for all of us. Then I want to have most number of successful entrepreneurs in the world. Every single person should be able to find his way to make money. Then my vision is to become biggest economic power. Currently, India is 6th largest GDP in the world. Then I want to have 100% literacy rate. According to recent reports, India is around 75% of literacy rate. That is quite low as compared to other developed countries. India stands out as a poor and very unequal country with an affluent elite, where top 100% holds 57% of the national income, while the bottom 50% holds just 13%. My vision of India to remove the tag of developing and place it in the club of developed nations. I believe that when all the highlights of my vision are achieved, India automatically will become a developed nation. That's all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you, Sahil, for sharing your vision with us. Now I request Gandhali to take over here. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm sharing my screen. Yeah. So basically I have chose Amar Jyot, Jawan Jyot, which is there in Delhi. We all know what it means to be like emotionally connected to something which is memorable and which is connected to all of us. But Amar Jawan means immortal soldiers. It was sculpted in 1972, 26th January. Tomorrow we will be conducting 50 years of completing Amar Jawan Jyot. Amar Jawan Jyot is scripted in gold, but sorry, I have not done it. Amar Jawan Jyot basically was after the Indo-Pakistan war in December 1971. It was burned. Amar Jawan Jyot burns a day and night under the gateway of India, that is Delhi, as a tribute to the Indian martyrs. It represents as a memorial and to around 90,000 Indian soldiers of the British Indian Army who had died in several wars and campaigns till then, as it was memorable for the Indian soldiers killed in the war of Indo-Pakistan. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. Very nicely delivered. Now I request Panchashila to take over here. Over to you, Panchashila.
Hello everyone. Good evening. My poster is on how courageously India fight against Corona, and we need to help our government to get vaccinated. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. Now I would ask Akanksha to present her poster and explain. Over to you, Akanksha.
Saurav. Hello everyone. Very good evening. I am Akanksha Kumbar, and as you can see, my poster is on Indian culture and tourism. As we all know that India has a rich history and a cultural and geographical diversity. So it automatically becomes the center of attraction for foreign tourists. A little bit about the India, our cultural and tourism industry. As per the statistics, 7.7% Indian employees are in tourism industry. And right now we are celebrating our Indian National Tourism Day today. So it was established by our Indian government to raise awareness about our Indian culture and Indian tourism. So I think this will create a new opportunities for various multicultural events and businesses also. And about my posters, there are peacocks and elephants. So peacock is our national bird and lotus is our national flower. So it represents the purity and prosperity and wealth. And the elephants are there. They represents that it is a symbol of divinity and royalty. As you can see, there are lots of tourist places I have added, such as Taj Mahal, Lotus Temple, and the Red Fort, Kashi Temple. They all are stick together to the Ashok Chakra, resembling unity in diversity. So thank you.
Thank you, Akanksha, for such a beautiful poster and informative explanation. Now, I would ask Vaishnavi to take over and explain her thoughts about her poster. Thank you.
Good evening, my name is Vaishnavi Mahokar. Honestly, it's difficult to picturize the entire Indian tourism and culture on a single A4 size page, but I tried to include quite a few things. So my picture depicts some of the famous historical monuments in India, such as the India Gate, on which the name of brave soldiers who fought World War I and Anglo-Afghan War are inscribed. So this is to show my respect towards our valiant soldiers. Then there is the Red Fort and Qutub Minar, which has been declared by the UNESCO as World Heritage Site. Then there is a saint, or what we call Rishi, and Meenakshi Temple too, to show the spiritual side of Indians and their hardcore theist nature, and their morals, ethics, and their epic literature such as Ramayana and Mahabharata. Then there is national bird peacock and national flower lotus. Also there is a Kathakali mask to show that various folk dances and classical dances are performed in India. And there is one lady too with folded hands. This is just to show that Indians show deep respect towards each other and towards the foreign tourist. That's it. Thank you.
Well said, Vaishnavi. We are indeed a country of diversity. Thank you for your contribution. Now, I would like Mrunal to take over here and present her thoughts about her poster.
Hello, my name is Mrunal. I'm going to talk on my poster, which is on cultural tourism. I have covered value and skills in cultures. So I'll start with LOC border. LOC border is the indication of the courage of the country, and united we strong together. That's the lesson we'll learn from that place. Then we'll move to the Seven Sisters of North India. That is, those 7 states are interdependent on each other for the daily activities. So here is So here is a value of unity we try to inculcate. Then we'll move to the Kerala. In this region there is a highest literacy rate, so that is the value we give to the whole country, or to the whole world, that education is important, education is key. Then I'll come to the Sabarmati Ashram, which is a place of Gandhiji, and Gandhiji has given United Nation concept to us. And the reason why I put whole background white is only that no matter how much diversity we have, we still are united and we are one nation. Thank you.
I would like to clear judges that these two participants were not able to present their poster on live mode, so we accepted their shorted video and presented.
Thank you all. Thank you everyone for participating in the competition and making such lovely posters with wonderful meanings. Today is National Voters Day. In order to encourage more young voters to take part in the political process, Government of India decided to celebrate January 25th every year as the National Voters Day. This day was started from 25th January 2011 to mark Commission's Foundation Day. Moving towards our guest speaker, our guest for today is Professor Dr. Prakash Chaudhary. Dr. Prakash is currently the Vice Principal, Professor and Head of Department of Business Law at Neswadia College of Commerce, Pune. He is a PhD holder from Savitribai Phule Pune University and has been a university topper while pursuing his MA. This is just one of his numerous achievements as a student. He was also a recipient of Government Open Merit Scholarship for LLB and LLM course. He has a professional and teaching experience of 30 years, in which he has also published a numerous number of research papers and in various journals. He is an author to multiple books and has attended more than 40 seminars, workshops, and conferences. He has also been a part of radio and television programs too. So I would request sir to share his few drops of knowledge from his immense ocean of knowledge and experience. Over to you, sir.
Good evening to all of you. It's indeed a matter of pleasure to be there in the midst of you on this virtual platform and talking on the National Voters Day. And as you know, we have been celebrating this 12th National Voters Day, and therefore expecting our new generations to sensitize certain issue on these particular things as such. And therefore you will find that we have to see that how we are working. And therefore, you have to see that today is a National Voters Day, and therefore we have to see that how democratic system is actually working. And in democratic system, as we know, right from Greece period and from Roman jurisprudence, we understand that how people's power is useful. When we talk about a democracy, it means that finally it's the power of the people. It's a demos and kratos, the word is actually derived from that. And therefore you will find that it happens. Okay. I think I have some presentation also. Host can allow me to present so that I would be in a position to show certain slides for your benefit. So my point is that when we talk about democracy, we talk about people's power. And when people's power is there, people power can be reflected through elections in a country like India. As you know that all of us respect and the all institutions, political institutions or other institutions which are existing in our country are basically getting power from our Indian constitution. We cannot think of our political system. We cannot think of our governance without actually observing the provisions of constitutional law. And therefore you will find that we have got this particular constitution after our independence with a lot of efforts from the stalwarts and under the able leadership of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, we have seen that how democracy has evolved because constitutional makers have given us a way in which we can go ahead and see that how our entire system prevails. And therefore, in India, we have adopted a democratic system, and you will see that how it has worked in our Indian country through constitutional law. If you remember even our preamble, which has been given in our Indian constitution, and there it has been very categorically mentioned that we, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic, and to secure all its citizens justice, social, economic, and political. Then fraternity, assuring the dignity of individuals. And finally, they say that we, on this 26th of November 1949, we herewith adopt, enact, and give to ourselves this constitution. So my point is, as a layman, we cannot forget the philosophy of constitution, which is reflected in our preamble as such. And in that particular preamble, in the very beginning, they have said that it is our responsibility to make this country as a socialist, we the people of India having solemnly resolved to constitute India into sovereign, socialist, and republic. When we say republic, democratic, these words are talking about the power of a common man. These words are talking about how an individual entity in this country is actually the supreme power. Because who has made this constitution? We, the people of India, have made the constitution through our forefathers to whom we had elected on the Constituent Assembly, and they have given vision for us. They have given mission for us. And therefore, this document is made, though in the 1950s, it is going to be a torch bearer for all of us, not for 10 years, not for 40 years, not for 50 years, but for entire future of the country, for generations to generations. And you will find this is the 72nd year of our Constitution or Republic Day, which we are going to probably celebrate tomorrow. In such circumstances, we cannot forget about the history. We cannot forget about the contribution of our freedom fighters who have struggled a lot and to get freedom to this particular country. Why did we want to have this particular freedom? Was basically we didn't want to rule by the others. By no external power can rule us. And therefore, you will find that violence and non-violence, both ways our forefathers and our freedom fighters have agitated against the foreign rule and tried to see that we get an independence. Like Lokmanya Tilak had stated that, yes, Swaraj is my Swaraj is my birthright and I shall have it. See the spirit. It is as good as a natural right. It is as good as your basic fundamental freedom can be exercised when you yourself is ruling your own country. And that's what the vision and that's what the sacrifice, and that is the reason why our freedom fighters have fought for us almost for 150 years. And then finally we got our independence in the year 1947. And then within 3 years we made our own constitution. Almost more than 300 members, stalwarts, representatives, intellectuals under the leadership of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar framed the constitution, made this vision and mission for all of us so that the future of India becomes safe. How? By giving power to the public. And therefore, it is the form of government which we have chosen is nothing but the through representative. So the body which is going to govern will be body consisting our own representatives to whom we are sending them through elections. Okay, so therefore the constitution is considered to be the supreme law of the land as such. And therefore, as you see that constitution is supreme. Constitution is the fountain of various institutions which we witness today. Parliament, Judiciary, Lawmaking Authorities, Election Commissioner of India, Controller General of India, Judiciary, Directive Principles of State Policy, Fundamental Rights, all these important institutions, all these important fundamental rights, all guidelines required for a state to function through Directive Principles of State Policy. And in by 42nd Amendment, we have also accepted and adopted the provisions for fundamental duties too. And therefore, this is what we are cherishing, that we want that particular liberty and we want to promote fraternity in our country. And that is what the legacy which we are going to follow. But this is possible only when there is democracy. And in democracy, people, a common man, will have ample power through majority. So therefore, whoever is having majority in the governance of this particular country will rule the country, will rule the stage, and therefore majority makes a difference. And therefore, over the government as such. And therefore, what we want is the fair and square elections where freedom of expression will be protected and where human liberties and individual rights are also recognized. And all this thing will be there only when we have democratic way of life and we have well-established democracy. I don't want to dilate much with regard to classical democracy, which used to be there in the ancient Greece, and we call it as an Athenian democracy, which was nothing but a direct democracy. So people used to elect, rather people used to directly elect the persons, and they used to have a direct power in their hands, and they used to work for the people. Protective democracy is a little bit further development, where you will find the popular sovereignty will be there, and the people cannot directly take part in the process of state because it is difficult. Because of a population, a few people cannot directly participate in the general public, cannot directly participate in the governance, and therefore they will be sending their representatives, and your primary duty is to elect a certain person and send them as your representative as such. However, now these are not the watertight compartments. We have participatory democracy. We have developmental democracy, where the thought of development of a common man, thought of development of a downtrodden product of the society is also considered through various constitutional provisions. And therefore, the common man should have right to participate in the democratic process through elections, and that is what it is expected. So there is a cosmopolitan democracy, and there is what we can call as a commune democracy. All these are the different models which the political scientists have given. But finally, you will understand through democracy, the decentralization of power is well established. Like we have adopted a federal system whereby the central government will be there, state government will be there. There will be appropriate distribution of power. There will be appropriate distribution of their fundamental duties, and therefore the federal structure will have a unique blend of decentralization of power between the center and the state, and the structure is such that a better balance is actually maintained. And this is possible only when you can adequately delegate the power from central to the local self-government. And therefore you will find that when we are sending our representatives, we are sending our representatives to the parliament, to the state legislature, and then at district level, we are sending them to the Jilla Parishad. We are at Tahsil level, we send them to what we can Taluka Panchayat, and then even the Gram Panchayat. Okay, and in all these things, you will find what is important is there is a proper execution of the government policies. There is proper diversification and developmental approach is required to be taken, and people should be motivated to take part in the democratic process as such. Therefore, you will find that we had a 73rd and 74th amendment in our constitution, and wherein we have made that how the local self-government will become self-sustaining, and how better participation of people, especially women, are also there, because a country is not constituted just with the help of the main leadership. So we have equal participation of women, and if we want to bring them in the mainstream of this electoral process, it is necessary for some time, because as you see, and even as you see even today in the parliament, we don't have adequate representation of women in accordance with their population which is existing in the country. And if that is the case, that women are not adequately represented in the parliament, right? And therefore, if you want them to be a part of your democratic process, they should also get equal share. And therefore, we had to make an amendment in the year 73 and 74th amendment in the year 1992. And we have seen that how in the municipal corporations, how in the Jilla Parishad, how in Tahsil Panchayat, and how even in Gram Panchayat, we have made the reservation for certain SCs and STs and women, so that they can get adequate representation in governing the country as such. So this is how it had happened. Therefore, at all these particular levels, as you see, that even women are getting the power, and the Panchayat Raj system is trying to give power to the people who are staying in that particular vicinity as such, and therefore the Gram Panchayat is tried to be given more power. Panchayat Samitis are tried to be given more power, and even Jilla Parishad. So this is a typical delegation of authorities as well as distribution of power, so that people can rule themselves, people can govern themselves, and finally, people's participation in local self-government is there, and that would help them to implement and execute various policies coming from the center, various policies coming from the state, and for the benefit of these local people, rural people, unless and until they get power to decide, even if they receive certain funds, how to spend and utilize those funds. Let them take a decision, let them decide their priority and go ahead. And this is what typically what we were thinking about the teachings of Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi used to say, let us go to the villages. Kheda khede chala. That's what the slogan. Let's move to the villages, so that if the villages are made self-sufficient, and the poverty which is existing in the rural India, and if rural India is really empowered, and then you can see that India will be definitely developing and growing, because 70% population even today stays in rural area, and they are mainly, their livelihood is mainly dependent upon the agriculture as such. And therefore, all these institutions are important, and they should get proper funding. They should get right to rule in accordance with their own local self-government, and their priorities can be decided by themselves. And therefore, there are various challenges when we talk about the democracy, when we talk about our right to choose the government. We have got poverty, we have various health-related issues, we have low literacy, we have caste-based issues, we have gender discrimination at various levels. We do witness the rampant corruption in our country. We are watching that it is very difficult to get justice to the common man. It is difficult for the common man to knock the doors of the court if some violation of their rights are there. And therefore, there are various instances where minorities are exploited. People who are there in the minorities on the basis of religion, race, caste, creed, all these particular factors are playing a role, and there is possibility of exploitation and harassment of those who don't have ample power. Money or muscle power is also taking place when we are talking about the election process, because election process is the process where you have to elect your representatives, send them to the government, and they will be governing, and they become powerful, and that power should not actually exploit the common man, and therefore right kind of a leadership is required to be there. Right kind of a candidates are required to be elected. And if you want your leaders to be right, if you want your leaders to be ethical, if you want your leaders to rule the country as per the expectations of Constitution of India, then you should be conscious. You should be alert enough to choose your representatives very consciously. And that is what it is expected, that if you choose right people, then the right governance will be there. And then you will find that government would be in a position to make a real change in the society as such. Therefore, you know that how in the parliament, there will be a parliament will be working, because members from us will be elected and they will be sitting in the parliament and will be taking decisions. And then again, it will go to the bureaucratic system, and bureaucratic system will try to implement and execute the decisions taken by the parliament. Like now you are completing your MBA. So you are going to become a manager and manager of a company. And if you are a manager of a company, so you will be directed to work in a particular way as per the directions given by the board of directors. Board of directors will be elected from the shareholders of a company. Therefore, shareholders cannot actually rule the company, administer the company. Therefore, the expert people will be there on the board of directors, and they will make policy decisions for the benefit of the stakeholders and the shareholders. A similar kind of a pattern is there in ruling the government also. We as a shareholders, we as a common man will be representing people, sending our representatives to the government, in the parliament, in the state legislature, and then they will form the government with the help of majority, and then they will rule, they will make a policy decisions, they will elect, they will give proper guidelines to the executives and bureaucratic system. And then finally, they will try to see that how laws are actually finally implemented as such. So I don't want to talk on this particular slide, because I have already discussed that sometimes there is an authoritarian kind of a system where you will find the dictatorial kind of a system is there, which is not acceptable in most of the countries. However, democracy is well established thing, and history has proven that in democracy, people's rights are respected. Though we have certain combination of both monarchy and democratic system in the country like United Kingdom, but these are the different kinds of oligarchy is there, like in China and Soviet Union. Totalitarian system was there in the Nazi Germany, and you know that how communism, colonialism, dictatorship, and theocracy and aristocracy has worked in some of the countries, right? All these things are happening. All this democratic system is there, ruling system is there, governance is there. But finally, when we think about India as a country, India as a democratic country, then naturally we will have to think about how our democracy is going to sustain, how our democracy is going to sustain in long run, wherein a common man's interest is being protected. We, the people of India, should be happily living in our country with the help of all our fundamental rights and by complying all our fundamental duties, and all of us should get equal opportunity to evolve as a human being, equal opportunity to develop ourselves with the help of our own potential. This democratic environment, if it is available, then only we can evolve, we can develop ourselves. Okay, but this will happen only when you and me, you and I become sensitized. We are well aware. We become knowledgeable. We know how this country is being ruled. We must know our constitution. We must know how parliament is functioning. We must know how our legislature are functioning. We must know and identify the rule of Supreme Court. We must know the how the high courts are functioning. We must know right from lower court to the apex court how judicial system is working. So therefore, we are based on three main pillars. Our democracy is based on three main pillars, and they are lawmaking body, that is parliament or a state legislature, executives, that is a bureaucratic system who is going to implement their decisions. And if you go wrong somewhere, either parliament or executives, somebody can approach the Supreme Court, High Court, or lower court, as the case may be, and will try to, and these judiciary will try to interpret the existing provisions of law And even if parliament makes some law which is unconstitutional, judiciary has got every power to declare that law as unconstitutional, being violating the fundamental rights of the common man. And therefore, why do we celebrate this National Voters' Day on 25th? Because 25th January in 1950, the National Commission of India was established. And to commemorate its 61st year, 12 years back, we started actually celebrating this National Voters' Day. And today is the 12th National Voters' Day. And we are coming this time, 2022. This National Voters' Day is basically for what? It comes with a theme, and the theme is basically inclusiveness. Inclusiveness is important. Then you will have participation is important, and accessibility is important. Inclusiveness ka matlab hai we have to include and give benefit to all those who are there in the country has not. Everybody should have access to the justice. Everybody should have access to the governing authorities. Everybody should have access to the benefits so that they can satisfy their basic needs. They can satisfy their urge to evolve as a better human being. And therefore, this National Voters' Day is mainly celebrated to encourage, facilitate, and maximize the enrollment, especially for a new or first-time voters. So this government is trying very hard that now people who are completing 18 years of age, there are ample machinery is established by the government, and there are 4 times the enrollment is open for you and me, especially those who are newly registering themselves. So you cannot go and vote unless and until you register your name in the voters list through proper channel by filling the form number 6 and all those, by giving your details, photos, Aadhaar card and all that. I don't want to go for the process which is required to be followed. But once you become voter, then you get right to vote. You get right to choose your leader. You get right to choose your government. And if you are educated, if you know the parties, if you know the political manifesto of the political parties, if you read the political manifesto, political agenda of each political party, which they normally declare before the election, then you will understand their policy. Then you will understand their mission. Then you will understand their vision. Then you will understand what promises they are going to give to the common man. And if you like those political agendas, and if those political parties are keeping their words, and whatever has been given in the manifesto, whatever has been given in their political agenda, during the 5 years, they will have to execute their, it is as good as promises which the political leaders are giving to the voters, that we will do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 things for you. Please vote us. And if you don't, and if we don't do that, unfortunately, right now, there is no right to withdraw and take back your vote. You don't have right to withdraw the government because you don't like it. We have chosen the Modi government at central level, and tomorrow if Modi, you don't like the prime minister, we cannot withdraw our support because we have already voted them. And therefore the people's power, how it is important. We have represented these people in the parliament, and parliament has passed 3 farmers laws, and which some of the farmers, many of the farmers community haven't liked them, and they had to agitate against their own government for a year, and then finally people's power could compel the existing central government to change their decision of implementing those laws, and they withdraw those 3 farmers legislations. My point is, this is the power of a common man. Therefore, if common man is not respected, if his wisdom is not respected, if his wish is not respected, if not, you cannot withdraw your support to the government at this particular point of time. But when they come back and come say, Bhai or Bahino, please vote us. So when they're coming with a new agenda, In such circumstances, you can decide whether this government has really implemented their agenda or not, whether they are honestly working for you or not. And if they are not properly working for you, then you get liberty to change the government. You get liberty to choose new government. And that is what it is happening in our in every country in these particular circumstances as such. So my point is therefore, why our voting is important. Our voting is basically important because if we are eligible to vote, we are choosing our representatives through our voting. So you will choose only those people to whom you believe that they are going to govern the country in most ethical and legal manner as such. And therefore, you understand their psyche, you understand their commitment to whatever they have promised, and accordingly, the decision making you are giving in their hands because you feel that they are genuine people and they will be working hard for you. And if it doesn't happen, you can change the government, as I said, in the next election. Okay. However, as a voter, do we go for voting? Now, if I ask you that how many of you are the registered voters? I'm sure when you had completed your 18 years of age when the last Lok Sabha election was held. Last Lok Sabha election was there in the year 2019, and I'm sure that you must have completed 18 years of age. And if those who have not voted, probably, though despite the fact that you are 18 plus, it is your duty. It is our duty to get ourselves registered as a voter so that you get right to choose your government. What is the turnout in voting? In the last election of Lok Sabha, there was a maximum turnout right from all these particular earlier 16th Lok Sabha elections. The highest turnout was there, and that was 67% voters have actually come to the booth, election booth, and they have voted and tried to choose their government. 67%. If that percentage of voters or turnout in Maharashtra was around 61%, the turnout in Lakshadweep was almost 85%. The northeast states like Nagaland was having 82%, Nagaland, Tripura, Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, their voting percentage was 80 plus, right? However, Bihar was around 57, and even the percentage of voters, the turnout in the elections in the Delhi, that is the capital of our country, national capital of our country, was not satisfactory. It was even I think 60 or below 60%. So if that is the case, earlier it used to be hardly 40%. Now gradually, eventually, because of education, because of awareness, because of people like you who are trying to become sensitized on the governance and your rights, are going, registering themselves as a voters, going to the electoral booth and voting and choosing your government. So that is very important as such. And therefore you will find even the women's participation is good. Ironically and very strangely, we will find the turnout in the election voting is higher in rural area and very lower in the urban area. You and people like you and me who are educated, who are working in the business organization, working in the government sector, you get holiday on the date of election and you go for Siangad, you go for Lonavala, you go for Matheran, you go for Mahabaleshwar without fulfilling your basic fundamental duty and responsibility to choose your government. And then you take liberty to criticize the government every day. Every day you open a paper, newspaper, and then you will start criticizing Modi, you will start criticizing Uddhav Thackeray, and you become armchair critic. What is the use of that? If you are not respecting your fundamental obligation to go and vote and choose your government, what right you get to criticize them? So my point is it not our responsibility to go and vote? Is it not responsible to become sensitive enough to choose our government? Is it not our responsibility to vote and see to it that good people are going in this legislative assembly and parliament, and they rule this particular country as per the expectations of our Indian constitution? This will happen only when wise people, good people, all people go and vote and choose the right people. Okay, why? Why to go and vote? The fundamental reason is because it is our right. It is our constitutional rights. Our forefathers have given this constitution to us. Our forefathers have given us liberty and freedom and right to go and vote and choose our government. And we are the agents of change. We can change the government. We can change our leaders. We can compel them to behave properly, ethically, legally. And therefore, our vote is the determining factor. You know, if there are equal votes for a particular person, even if you get one vote more, the other candidate will be defeated. And of course, you do have right not to vote. Nota, that is nota stands for none of the above. So if you don't like a candidate, any candidate, you feel that no candidate is suitable to govern you, you can mention and put that buzzer or button in the electronic voting machine, whereby you are telling people and leaders that there is no a single person who is really qualified, who is eligible to represent me. And then government will think how to go about it. If majority would start talking about that we don't find any appropriate person to be elected. So therefore, this process of election is required to be identified and understood, that these elections should be held. There should be smooth functioning. There should be democratic way of conducting election. Care should be taken that fair and square elections are conducted under the leadership of Election Commissioner of India. You have to register your you as a voter. You will have to have your voter's ID card. It is your responsibility to be take knowledge about when the elections are going, who are standing for the elections, are they the citizen of your country, are they really serving the people. You have to be very alert and sensitized and knowledgeable about your candidates, about your political party, about your leaders, about their political manifesto, and then only you will be in a position to wisely exercise your right of vote. And if you don't vote, then you don't have right to criticize. Therefore, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar had aptly defined the term democracy, and he has categorically mentioned that democracy is not merely a form of government, it is primarily a mode of associated living. We are living in association with each other, of conjoint communicated experience. We are having the experience of staying together, staying connected, staying communicated to each other, and it is essentially an attitude of respect and reverence towards the fellow. What democracy is going to teach? Dr. Babasaheb has told us that respect each other and then create that approach, create that attitude of respecting and giving reverence towards the fellow man. And that kind of a brotherhood, that kind of a equality, which is mentioned in the preamble, will be there only when we are also performing our responsibility as a sensitive and a democratic citizen of this particular country. And if we don't do that, if good people are not there, if good people are not elected, then Babasaheb had also warned that constitution हमने बनाई अच्छी है, कितने भी constitution अच्छी हो, वो execute करने वाले लोग अगर अच्छे नहीं हैं, तो वो constitution कुछ नहीं कर सकती. अगर constitution उतनी अच्छी नहीं है, मगर वो चलाने वाले लोग अगर अच्छे हैं, तो भी कुछ ना कुछ तो अच्छा हो सकता है. उनका बोलने का, कहने का ये मैसेज है कि अगर अच्छे लोग अगर रूल करते हैं, अच्छे लोगों को हमने इलेक्ट हम अगर करते हैं, तो वो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन का रिस्पेक्ट करेंगे और कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल वैल्यूज, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल मोरालिटी, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल राइट्स एंड ड्यूटीज will be respected, provided the government is in the hands of good, sensitive, law-abiding citizens. And if you want good people to rule the country, all of us will have to become a part of this governing model. All of us will have to exercise our right of vote. All of us, if not possible, some of us can also contest the election and see to it that the constitutional values and constitutional morality is respected, and we are trying to make justice to the society, justice to the country, and justice to the fellow men. This is what I wanted to share with you all. If you wish to ask some questions, the forum is open for discussion. Thank you very much, Dr. Karuna Madam, and all faculty members, and Dr. Anandrao Dadas, the Director of Naval Institute of Management Studies and Research, for giving me this wonderful opportunity to interact with the youngsters and the future of this particular country. And I'm really thankful for availing this wonderful opportunity. I think if there is, I don't know the whether coordinator wanted to have some kind of a discussion and question answer sessions, but from my side, this is what I wanted to share with you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, everyone. I would like to thank our guest, Dr. Prakash and Chaudhary, who dedicated his precious time and gave us insights about National Voters Day. It was really informative. Due to some reasons, Dr. Dadas sir couldn't attend the meeting, but I would like to thank him for constantly encouraging and guiding us to participate in different activities. I would like to thank all the judges, also all the faculty members and sports and cultural committee for organizing poster making competition. Lastly, I would like to thank all the participants and audience members. Winners will be declared tomorrow. With the permission of Director Sir and guest, I would like to conclude the event. I wish you all happy National Voters Day and happy Republic Day in advance. Before leaving the meeting, I would request everyone to fill up the feedback form. The link is provided in the chat box.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, madam. Thank you.
Those who have filled up the feedback form can leave the meeting. Thank you.